Well, for more on billionaires and their impact, joining us now is Nicholas Economides. He's a professor of economics at the Stern School of Business at New York University. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
So as we look at billionaires and the impact that they have, there's a lot of debate as to whether that helps or hurts the broader economy. Unpack the two sides of the argument and some of the gray in between.
Well, I mean, here you have a situation in which you have a few people, and the vast majority of the people are not them. So it's very easy to persuade the crowd to say, let's take their money away and let's distribute among ourselves. So this is a kind of an old problem. This is not news. This is not 2020. This has been there for thousands of years. As long as you have democracy, there is going to be some contradiction between the majority and the top of the income distribution, because by definition, these billionaires are not going to be the majority. The majority is going to be relatively poor.
Now, talk about the concept of the trickle-down economy. We know that that's usually the reason for a lot of tax breaks for corporations and billionaires, but talk about the assumptions in that theory and how much truth there is to its effectiveness.
Well, the idea, if I can put it that way, I'm not necessarily a proponent of that theory, but I'm saying the idea is that we are going to have lower taxes, and lower taxes will create bigger incentives for new jobs, new businesses, and so on, and this benefits the economy. And if you look at it objectively, what Trump has done in the first 3 years was cut corporate taxes and income taxes for individuals significantly, and employment has skyrocketed. It has been, just before the pandemic, the highest it has ever been in the United States. So it has worked. Now, it has worked as far as creating jobs. If you think that the objective is for everybody to be paid equally, it has not worked. But I think that objective of people being paid equally is too utopian. It will never happen under any government, Trump, Biden, whoever.
So talk about some of the biggest tax breaks or loopholes that some of the wealthier tend to benefit the most from.
Well, I mean, I don't know what you mean by loopholes.
Because a lot of people have been wondering in terms of things like offshore accounts. Some people call it tax avoidance, others call it paying their fair share. What's your take on that?
Well, there are different things there is a difference between tax evasion and shielding your income abroad and doing something illegal, and having a lower tax rate on investment. Right now, in the United States, as in most places in the world, there is a lower there's a lower tax rate on investment income rather than wage income. And why is that? The very simple reason. So people actually save and invest. So it makes sense. I mean, you might say, well, it creates all these bad effects, but it also creates, for sure, some very good effects by making people save and invest.
And we do see a lot of billionaires out there still focusing on philanthropy. Talk about some of the biggest philanthropic efforts out there that they're contributing to and the difference that it's making.
Well, for sure it's making a difference, especially Bill Gates, and he managed to rope in Warren Buffett and others. It makes a big difference. He has made a huge difference in Africa, in eliminating various long-term diseases, and it is very, very, very important. And one hopes that all billionaires would imitate Bill Gates and actually give their money to charity.
And just quickly, is it more of an ethical, legal, or social issue when it comes to this criticism that some people are making billions using the labor of people who will never see a million in their lifetime?
I don't think that's peculiar at all. I mean, if you think about it, first of all, some people are unskilled, so we're not going to pay much in any society because they don't have the right skills. Other people have been maybe at the right time, at the right place at the right time, and made a lot of money. And some people might have been lucky, or maybe they have had the right business plan and won. I mean, one example that comes to mind is Bill Gates, who was there at the right time so that he managed to set Microsoft as the first software company without hardware and took over. Another example is Amazon. For a long time, they were just selling books, but they managed to create the logistical infrastructure to be able to deliver anything to you, almost anything, in a couple of days. So these are big achievements which actually help not only Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, but also the average consumer, people like you and me.